What's up to all my frugalistas, my thriftinistas, and my flipperistas? It's your girl Goddess Arami, and I'm about to show you how I turned this video is fun. This regular schmegular degular dress into this 70s inspired outward stitch dress. I don't even know what to call it, but it's a reverse stitch. The stitches are on the outside. Okay, yeah. So first thing I did was flip this inside out and measure down to where I wanted the dress to stop on my body. I think I got like 36 inches. I snipped that off, and I'm just going to place that to the side because no, I'm not. Actually, I'm going to take a sweater cardigan thingy and match the sleeves because I will be making sleeves using this sleeve pattern. So I needed the top to match the length of the original sleeves on the sweater. Now I'm getting that out of the way because now we're going to make the sleeves. I'm going to use the bottom half of the dress, and I wasn't concerned that the sleeves were longer than the bottom half because I was going to be adding a circle sleeve at the bottom. I just cut around that, and then I flipped that right on over to the other side, made sure the seams were matching, flipped it around, and I cut that out too. So now I have two sleeves. I'm going to cut off that hem because it's going to be in my way when I get ready to add my circle sleeves. I'm going to measure out the bottom of that sleeve and take the rest of the fabric, fold it lengthwise, and then fold it widthwise so that I get 4 pieces, right? So I measured my wrist, the bottom of that sleeve that I cut out, and I divided that by 6.28 to get a radius. And then I marked that out on the fabric. I marked from that marking down 5 inches because that's how long I wanted my sleeve to be. And I measured that out, I cut it out, and then you will see what the outcome is. If you want to know more about circle sleeves, circle skirts, circle anything, please YouTube it. 6.28 divided by the measurement divided by 6.28 will give you a circle when folded correctly. I think I'll do a whole video on radius here soon. Okay, so now we're cutting where I made those, put those pins at earlier to match the sleeves. And I am measuring out 5 inches across the bottom of this dress because I will be making straight lines all the way from the top to the bottom using my big old ruler. And I'm doing that everywhere that I made those marks so that it'll be even and on all sides. And it still didn't come out even because I can't cut to save my life. I cut completely through the entirety of this dress from top to bottom, okay, through the back and through the front. So this dress is completely split up, and now all we're going to be doing is putting it back together. I'm marking my front pieces so that I don't get confused, and I'm also marking where I want my stitch to stop because I want to lace it up right there. So I'm going to flip these pieces wrong side up and place them wrong side to wrong side. You never hear me say that on this page, but we're doing wrong side to wrong side, okay? I'm picking what stitch I want, and for my machine, I'm able to choose different stitches, but if you don't have this option, you can either use a serger or just use a regular zigzag stitch. My machine gives me options, so I picked stitch 18 to give it a little cool little effect. And if you can see here, I am stitching right on the line. I never do that on this channel either. I always stitch behind the line, but here I'm stitching directly on that line. And I'm gonna try to zoom in as close as I can so you can see how close the needle is. The needle is going in the machine and into the material. It's like super, super close. It's on the line. You see, can y'all see that? Can you see? Yes, you can. I am stitching directly on that line because I need that to be present. And this is the reason why we are stitching on the wrong side of the fabric so that we can get this, the right side of the fabric so we can get this effect. Wrong sides together. Again, wrong side up. And then we're going to take that other piece and we're going to put the right side up, wrong sides together. I cannot stress that enough. Okay, I'm transferring my markings where I want to put my lace up detail, and then again, wrong sides together. Okay, and this is one of the only times where you will do this, ladies. gentlemen, students, wrong sides together, okay? And then once we get all those pieces together, again, we're going to pull our dress to close it with the wrong sides together, and we're just going to make that last stitch. And that's going to be how we put our dress together. In the front, I'm going to fold those pieces in, and I'm going to stitch that down. Okay, I'm actually not going to stitch that down. What I'm going to do is take some more of that scrap fabric that was left over and make a 1-inch strip, and I'm going to fold it in half, wrong sides together again, and I'm going to stitch on top of that line. Normally we would fold it in right sides together and stitch it and then flip it, but we want the stitch on the outside. We want to see the stitched edge throughout this entire project, okay? Even when we put the shoulders together, we're going to stitch wrong sides together with the right sides out, okay? So we're going to fold those after cutting them into little strips. I cut 1-inch strips and I pin it to the edge that I folded. And I did that on both sides. I didn't really measure how far apart they would be. I just made sure that when I put them on the other side, they matched. See what I did? Yeah. So then we're going to stitch that down. I just used a straight stitch to do this to make sure that there was enough space within the loops to put my lace detail through. Okay. So now we're going to move on to our sleeves. And since I cut this on the seam of the original dress, all I'm going to do is fold these right sides together and stitch over the seam that is already there, okay? And for the circle sleeves, I folded them in at the bottom and I stitched over that too, same way on the right side. This part was kind of tricky to figure out, but I figured it out. And to explain, what I did was the same thing that I did through this entire tutorial. I placed those wrong sides together and pinned it all the way around. I don't like to normally use pins, but I needed pins here. If you can see, the wrong sides are together and I'm pinning them down all the way around. I did have to pleat it in a couple places to make it fit completely correctly, but that's fine. You know what I'm saying? We want that ruffle detail anyway. So as you can see here, I'm going to show you where it's pinned all the way around. You see how that's pinned? Wrong sides together, and you're going to stitch it just like that, okay? Just like we're doing in the rest of the tutorial. So now we are going to move on to attaching these in the same way. I needed to get rid of that hem that was there, so I cut it off. In the same way I did the rest of this dress, I pinned it wrong sides together. Y'all tired of me saying that yet? I just need you to know that if you want to make this outward reverse stitch or exposed stitch, that's what it's called, an exposed stitch dress. And if you want to do it like this, just put them wrong sides together, sis, okay? I took the top seam and I matched it with my shoulder seam, and I also matched it under the arm before I moved on. And I think this is the excerpt of the love of my life, and she's going to be singing for you. Unicorn. Unicorn. We were on FaceTime. I absolutely could not cut that part out. I told her, I was like, you're going on my YouTube. And I just love that. Anyways, moving on. I am just pinning this around, and as you can see, it's pinned wrong sides together again, and I am stitching on the outside of this fabric to give it that exposed stitch look. Okay, so now I'm taking my stringy string and I'm pinning both sides with a safety pin, and I am just crisscrossing those in the front. You can tie this as tight or as loose as you wanted it. I liked mine with the loose effect, even though I kept getting a little boobage. I think if I wear this out, I'm going to have to tighten it, okay? But, you know, I'm one of those. I just like, you know, to be comfortable. So this is why I also did not take this dress in any. I like the loose look. I enjoy the way that it feels on my body. You know, the sleeves are a little tighter than the rest of the dress, but I'm okay with that. And that's the last step, you know, just put the wrong sides together, sis. You know what I'm saying? And this is the outcome. It looked really well on my mannequin. I pinned it up in the back, of course, because she's Miss Skinny Mini. She ain't got no real curves or nothing like that. But, you know, this is the outcome, and I could not be more in love with it. I like the way that it looks on me. I like that it gives like that old school effect. I'm gonna have to blur some of this stuff out because you did see a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, yeah, enjoy. I hope you guys make this. If you make a dress like this, tag me on Instagram, tag me on TikTok. Let me see your creations, and I appreciate y'all for coming through and stopping with me. I hope y'all have a great day. Thank you. Bye.